So key performance indicators. This is also something that I think nonprofit organizations don't think a lot about. They're focused on their audit, they're focused on the budget, some of these compliance items, but they're not necessarily looking strategically at the organization and what they should be tracking as metrics that are important for the work that they do. There are financial and non-financial key performance indicators, or KPIs. The financial ones are sometimes standard and can be used even across for-profit or nonprofit organizations. The non-financial ones might go with the exact lane that you're in. If you're in higher education or healthcare, or if you're at social services, you might have different KPIs that you want to track and look at how those compare to other people in your space, so you can see how your performance relates. One of the things to be aware of is what Charity Navigator and GuideStar might measure for your organization, because that's where donors are looking to see if they want to fund the work that you do. And so you might want to take things like looking at your program expenses, your admin expenses, your fundraising expenses as a percentage of your total expenses, and have that be one of the KPIs that you measure as part of your financial reports every month. You might want to do the same thing with debt, or liabilities to total assets. That's also something that Charity Navigator measures. There's also something called fundraising efficiency, where you see, well, how much money am I spending for every dollar that I'm raising? So that's a great measure, and it's an efficiency ratio that's important, again, for you to understand. I'm spending all this money in development, but what am I getting out of it? What am I actually able to raise with that investment? So those are some of the indicators. The other thing with nonprofits is something called Liquid Unrestricted Net Assets, or LUNA. And the importance of looking at that is because you might have monies that are coming in, but they might be restricted by the donor. If they're restricted by the donor, you can't use them for full operating purposes, or maybe there's only a slice of it you can use. So in talking about runway, which I kind of mentioned earlier, and understanding your burn rate, you want to know what you can leverage in your assets to use for that. If those are restricted assets, they won't be able to use necessarily freely to cover your operating needs.